Welcome everyone to the Goddess Temple. My name is Chris, and for today's video, what I have coming through is this deep calling to connect with your inner creation, your inner, I'm going to say it, your inner womb. This womb this is despite your gender, despite your identity, despite your understanding of um, the way your sexuality and your gender works correlates together. This is despite all of these categories and archetypes that we play with in the world presently, and just leaning into a little bit more of yourself, of connecting with this inner room, this possibility and potential that you have for something to be created, to be transmuted, and to be reshaped, alchemized in a way where it births a new a new life. And the life means not only is it something that um, takes a physical form, but also that plays with the potential of what could be possible. And it's this pure form that you have the capacity to mold, to shape, to mend, and to direct towards a certain path, a certain calling, a certain knowing, a certain living, a certain being and becoming. And it's from leaning into this place that you truly begin to touch on something just a little bit more. A little bit more of what? A little bit more of potential, of possibility, of what more do you want to see coming through in this world? What are the potentials that you want to see manifested? What are the mannerisms, um, what is it, archetypes that you want to be expressed in this world? And this womb space that you're tapping into, this womb, this motherly potential of creation, it's coming together with people around you. Now, this doesn't only mean a physical union, but I'm speaking a little bit more on a metaphorical level, just because metaphysical level, just because tap into it in the way that it applies for you. A lot of mystical teachings, they are used in such a way where one understanding of the physical way of being, of existing, can be applied in so many layers of the way that you exist, in so many layers of the way that life is expressed outside of us. And so tapping into those little places, and so it becomes important to really tap into yourself, to understand um, what it is that you're really creating, and how to apply this desire to create, to bring something to form, to shape, and to use it. Because now, why does that become important? Because when there is unmet desire and potential, it can, it becomes distorted. And so it's not only important for you as an adult to shape and reshape and remold yourself to being able to being so being sorry being able to continue to co-create with life around you, with the people around you, with your family, friends, community, work, society, global scale as well, even the earth itself, nature. It also becomes important for you to create a world um, where the children, that you get to also not only put in your intention and desire, but to also foster and nurture and teach the child how to nurture their vision, their desires, their impulses in a way where it does not harm and it becomes the path of least resistance. Um, and so this way of living can truly, I believe, has been something that's been wanting to be expressed for so long, and it just keeps getting either uh, downplayed or um, being seen as being something that's very passive or that's just we're just gonna obviously conflict with each other. None of that. That's actually false. And yes, there are fears. Those are fears that we have, most definitely. But they're not false. It's not that it's impossible. It is possible. It wouldn't be something that not only me, but also many others that see this, that feel this, unless it was something that had potential, unless this was a vibration, a pulse being sent throughout globally, unless this was an intention that was not being sent out through the earth, then it would not exist even in our own consciousness. The thing is, with human beings, just like any other creature, with human beings, this vessel is purely an electromagnetic receptor that receives and keeps firing in accordance to the surrounding. Now, the surrounding changes once this internal mechanism fires differently, operates differently, calls on different connections, different stories, different understandings. Once that happens, you begin to notice that your external world, the people around you, they change. The way they look at the world changes. The way they feel about the world changes. The way they feel and navigate through their life changes. Now, people that are receptive to you, so people that do actively put in the work and the energy to be a part of your life, are the ones that are going to reflect, to change, to adapt themselves so they can continue to stay in the same mental frequency as you. Even if it's a little bit on a lower negative vibration, you would say, they still put in the work to connect to you. And to a certain degree, they have to upgrade, or else they won't be able to be in the space that you are in. Now, why is this something that's important right now? It's because it's becoming more and more important to fully express yourself in your highest, fullest alignment, in the highest, fullest alignment to you, to the way that you experience this world, to be discerning of what you want, what you give, what you create, what you move through in this world, in this time, in this lifetime. It becomes important to, it's becoming more and more important is because there's more harm caused when you're trying so hard to convince someone that this is the way life should move. There is no convincing that's needed, but it's a truth that you embody, and for the people that it resonates with, for the people that it soothes, nurtures, it will grow and you will show up in their life, in that space, in that environment. However, something that I feel like even myself including, a lot of people may have trouble with is the fact that there's so many conflicting ideas, thought processes, and how do you coexist when it's distorted like that? when it's so individualized in a way? How do you still coexist? How do you work together? The thing is, there is a common thread that moves through everyone. This common thread being everyone is the hero of their story. Everyone does things that are in the name of justice and good to be served. Everyone tries to preserve either themselves, their history, or the potential possibility of the future of a belief or a beingness. And there's more to it, but my mind is going a little bit off track, so I'm gonna continue on a little bit as much as I possibly can. And so it becomes important for you to um, look a little bit more inwards and to reflect that even with all of these conflicting ideas and stories, there is a common thread that moves along. And this is the common thread of life, of abundance, of thriving. That is the only thing that anyone and everyone communicates. When you begin to understand that, when you begin to experience that and express that, it shows through. And you begin to quiet down a little bit. And you feel like you can breathe again, just a little bit. Enough so that you can hear the common thread and you allow for life to unfold. Because what ends up happening is you begin to foster what is wanting to be birthed through you, through your own internal womb. And we're just going to leave it at that. I want you to sit with this, to contemplate on this, and to see how this moves through you in the best way possible. And I really hope that this message has given you a little bit of something, a little bit of clarity, a little bit of solace, even to be able to move through your day, to be able to move through your life, to get a little creative with the way that you're approaching life. So, with this little bit, I'm going to be leaving the message here. I wish you guys all the best, and I will speak to you soon.